Hey guys, it's Carrie123 POP, and for today's video I'm doing another eyeshadow palette tag, which I'm so excited about because I love eyeshadow. So this is the eyeshadow palette wardrobe tag. So this eyeshadow palette tag was created by Morgan Turner and Charlotte Holcroft, and I saw it being done by one of the creators that I really enjoy, so I'll leave all of their links down below. So without further ado, let's go. So you have different categories and then you pick which eyeshadow you think would best fit that particular category. So I'm just gonna go into the categories. If I do look down, is because I have the categories there because I have the memory of a goldfish. So the first category is the eyeshadow palette you would use if you're a wedding guest, and I picked my Pat McGrath palette for this. This is the Mothership 2. This palette is absolutely beautiful, and the green and the gold shade in this I feel would be amazing if you're doing a wedding look. And I did mention, I think I mentioned it in my video, or I mentioned it to my mom, that when I saw the green shade in particular, I immediately got kind of a wedding kind of vibe for an eyeshadow look. So yeah, this would be my pick if I was a wedding guest. So I'm kind of combining the next two categories just because I would use the same palette for both. So that would be for a date night and a girls night. So for that, I chose my Modern Renaissance palette. So I do tend to reach for this palette quite a lot when getting ready when I'm going out with my friends, and I think I would do the same for a date night. I just really love the colors and the tones in this palette. I feel it's really suitable for when you don't want to get dressed up and go out, but not kind of a full-on kind of glam moment. So I would definitely pick this for a date night and for a girls night out. So the next category is an eyeshadow palette that you take on vacation, and for that I picked the Makeup Revolution Pretty Incredible palette. Now this palette does not look its best currently, but it just means that it's had a lot of love. So I chose this palette because I did take it with me on my last vacation, before 2020 happened. So I did take this with me, and it just has a lot of variety, so I can create various looks, whether it's just every day when I go to visit the family who stay in the area where I go on vacation, or if I'm going out to see friends I haven't seen in a while, I can also just kind of glam it up a bit, and just for various occasions it has all the kind of shadows that you would need. So the next category is an eyeshadow palette for graduation. My graduation is still 2 years away, but I dream of that day so much. I literally plan okay, I'm gonna wear this, I'm gonna look like this, just preparing in my head even though it's so far away, but it's what gets me through this degree, just that moment. So for this palette, I also once again chose my Pat McGrath palette. These shades once again are absolutely stunning, and I would really love to use them for my graduation because it's your moment. So I want all the bling bling and all the shiny, and yeah, I kind of just want a very over the top extra kind of makeup look, and I feel you can really get that with Pat McGrath eyeshadows. I do intend to purchase more Pat McGrath, so for now, if I only have this palette at that time, I would definitely choose this. They're doing construction. My neighbors are doing construction. I'm sorry. Yeah, so if I only have this palette at that time, I would definitely use it, but I do wish to purchase the Divine Rose 2, or maybe, I'm sure she'll definitely come out with more palettes by that time, but I definitely would think it would be a Pat McGrath palette. So the next category is an eyeshadow palette for Christmas Day, and for that I chose the Jackie Aina and ADH palette. Do I even really need to speak about why I chose this palette? I mean, look at it. It's beautiful. So with this palette, it just has those shades, if you want to have a more kind of simple look, or if you really want to go, up to that next level and just be I am pizzazz. For me personally, I'd go for a more kind of sparkly, glittery eyeshadow look for Christmas, and I think I can really get a beautiful look with this palette. I mean, it has red, it has green, and it has really great transition shades, so I would definitely choose this for a Christmas look. The next category is an eyeshadow palette for a birthday look, and for that I chose the Feline Instinct palette from the Sephora collection. So I chose this palette because this is the palette that I've used the most in terms of getting ready for friends' birthdays. I've even used a few of these shades for my own birthdays, so that's why I chose it. And it's a very warm tone palette, and I prefer warm tones. So warm tones. So yeah, so that's why I chose this for a birthday look. Next is an eyeshadow palette that you use for the office, and for that I chose my James Charles and Morphe palette. So the James Charles palette is very versatile. I mean, you can do your kind of natural looks, you can make it more glam, you can do smoky, you can do your colorful looks, and I base this decision on what eyeshadow palette I would take with me to ComServe, because after I study we have to do a year of community service, and you're not really sure which hospital and which province that they'll put you in. So I just thought, okay, work what, you know, what palette am I going to take, what's going to be the most useful, and I thought this would be, I mean, it's a really big palette, you have a lot of options, and the pan size is fairly big. So yeah, this would be the work office eyeshadow palette. The next category is your everyday or errands eyeshadow palette. Now, honestly, if I'm going to like do some errands, maybe like go get some groceries or pick up something, you know, I'm not really going to wear makeup, especially like nowadays, just because like you're wearing a mask. But if I'm gonna see people, maybe I will put on a bit of makeup. So for that, I picked my little mini Inglot palette. So there's two pans in here, and if you guys have seen my other video with the mask makeup, you know that I used this shade for like a very easy kind of like everyday look. So that's why I'm choosing this palette. It's really easy to just take this color, throw it on your lid, and you know, go on with your day. Also, these shades over here, they're quite glittery, so if you want to maybe add a bit more, add some glitter in a corner, maybe brow bone. So I would choose this palette for an everyday look. The last category is an eyeshadow palette for New Year's, and for me that would be my James Charles and Morphe palette. So yeah, I don't know if it's just me personally, but when I see like this kind of like top rows here, I just kind of get those vibes, like kind of New Year's vibes. So I definitely probably use this for New Year's. I actually haven't created a New Year's eyeshadow look. Most of the time, like I'm at home and like I'm in pajamas, so like I don't really do much. So, but maybe this year I'll make an effort and do a look. Yeah. So anyway, this is the palette that I'd use for a New Year's look. So that is the end of the eyeshadow palette wardrobe tag, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Okay, bye!